My name is Tony Bishop. I'm the owner of Connections Search Group, and I wanted to give you some advice when you're choosing a recruiting firm. And the reason I am doing this, we've recently had a couple of our small clients, early stage companies, maybe the CEO or the VP, some senior executive of those companies, if they don't have relationships with recruiters already, then sometimes they just don't know who to go to. And some of these individuals are extremely intelligent. They're technical people, maybe PhDs, MDs who started a company, and they just don't know where to turn to when it comes to finding an executive recruiting firm. This is what typically happens. Typically what happens is you just go with the name that you recognize. So you'll go with Korn Ferry. That one comes up quite a bit, or Spencer Stewart. Big, large retained firms, which those guys are great if you're working for a Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 company and you need a vice president, general manager. That's really where they shine. That's their space. But they're not really great if you're in a niche market, biotech, life science, medical device. They don't really have the deep relationships and the niche knowledge there. So you want to use a boutique firm when you're working, when you're in that space and you're looking for a a president, a chief medical officer, a chief information officer, a data science person, computational biology, whatever. You need somebody that has industry experience. So that's the first thing I'm going to tell you is go and find somebody who is in your niche, who is in your industry, who works there every day. Usually small boutique firms, maybe 5 to 25 recruiters. We have 25 recruiters at our firm. They do a lot of different things, but a firm usually in that size is the best for you, that really knows your space. So they live and breathe in your space every day. So that's number one, industry experience. Number two, obviously, is make sure whoever you choose is that they have a successful track record. So whoever you're talking to from the recruiting firms that you're talking with or considering, they should be able to give you references. There should be other companies that are not competitive to yours, that they've helped before and filled positions. And you should check. You should check references on your recruiting firm to make sure that they're worthy of your business, that they'll do a good job for you. So you definitely want to make sure that they have a successful track record. Now the other thing is, usually with small firms, small boutique firms, the way they pay the recruiters, usually they have more of a sense of urgency than if you went with a large retained firm. The firms we mentioned earlier, the retained firms, usually they have base salaries, they take care of those people financially, whereas with small recruiting firms, there's more of a sense of urgency because they have their 100% commission. I remember when I first started 18 years ago, a gentleman, a CEO, a very well-known CEO. He was starting up a small company. Eventually, after he built this company, he sold it for Becton Dickinson for $525 million. So, very successful CEO. But him and I started talking, and he said, Tony, he said, you know what? He said, I just want to hire somebody like you that's hungry, that has a sense of urgency, that wants to get this done, that's going to fight real hard to make it happen, because he knew it wasn't going to be easy. The search we were doing, I was doing his right-hand person, his chief operating officer, and he wanted it done right, but he wanted it done quickly as well. And so that's the advantage of smaller firms, commission-oriented. They're going to get it done, and plus they're more. There's a closer bond typically with a smaller boutique firm, because they become partners with you and they really dig in and understand. And a lot of times it's that person's personal reputation that they're really trying to protect, and they don't want to let you down. The right recruiting firm, they want to get in there and fight and help you find the right person because they care about you and they want to make sure that they do a good job for you. A lot of times in the bigger firms, you start getting to the big corporate firms, then the person who you meet with, who comes in and sells you on using their service, a lot of times is not involved in the search. Now they hand that off to a researcher, and their involvement is maybe diminished. So sense of urgency is definitely something that's very important as well, and getting the job done. Then the last thing I'll tell you is that contingency and retained, and I've done some other videos on the differences between the two. really makes no difference. I mean, like our firm, we do either. It depends on what level of service you want from us. The only difference in retained nowadays is that retained is, to me, it's kind of going out of style. It used to be retained, you would fly in, you would meet with the executives of the firm, of the company, with your company, and you would tell us more about what you're looking for. We'd learn the culture, and there's still some value there, and that still can be done even outside of a retained firm. I recently did a search for a small startup, and the president of the company really didn't want to do a retained search, but it's a very key position, but wanted me to come and visit the company and get to know the culture of the company. So she just paid for me to come up there. And so that worked out perfect. I came up, got to know the culture, interviewed her, all her people, and then I did the search. So don't get hung up on if it's retained or contingency. The main thing is you just want to make sure that whatever the arrangement is that you protect yourself and you don't lose money on the search. And I've got some other, on our website, I've got some articles about how not to get burned on a retained search. I won't go through that in this video. That wasn't the purpose of this. But I suppose what I'm saying is just work with a recruiter that you're talking to. They should be able to do it either way, contingency or retained. Make sure that if you do a retained search, that you have some kind of performance clauses in there that protect you in the event they're not delivering candidates. So anyway, there is an article on our website that you can go look at, connexussearch.com. I'll put the information here on the video so you can look at it. Anyway, I hope that helps, but those are the 4 critical factors that you should consider when choosing a recruiting firm. Once again, I'm Tony Bishop with Contingency Search Group.